Welcome to the Direct Line, the official podcast for OADSP. We're excited to have you here with us today, and if you have comments, suggestions, or if you want to join us in studio as a guest, reach out to me at podcast@oadsp.org. Welcome to the Direct Line, the official podcast of the Ohio Association of Direct Support Professionals. I'm your host, David Rustio, and today we'll be talking with Liz Owens. Liz, you and I have many encounters in the past, some at opera conferences and other gatherings, so we aren't strangers. But to our listeners that don't trust anything I say, I want you to help them out. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah. Hey, David. Thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
Glad you're here.
Yeah. So, like you said, my name is Liz Owens. I'm the CEO for the Alpha Group. I am in my 10th year running that organization, leading them through the many changes that we've had over the last couple of years. But I started in this career about 27 years ago. I started out in San Diego, California, working as a direct care professional.
Okay.
Going into the homes and working with the individuals, doing HPC services. And then I transitioned from that to working to a community integrated site out there.
Okay.
Getting the individuals out and about and around San Diego. It was like having a vacation every day for a year. It was wonderful. I had a wonderful group of individuals that I got an opportunity to work with and learned so much while I was out there. And then I moved to Marion, Ohio, and I worked for the County Board of Developmental Disabilities for 16 years while I was there. Started off there as a job coach.
Okay.
Did that for about 3 or 4 years. And then I went back to school, got my bachelor's degree, and I worked my way up to being a job developer. Did that for a few years, and then had the opportunity to become the director of the nonprofit there called Market Industries.
Okay.
So did that for a good 6 years. So I was with the county board for a total of 16 years, and then I transitioned down to be the CEO of the Alpha Group. So I'd say all of that to say that there definitely is a career path for being a DSP. You just have to be willing to put in the work and the time and the effort that it's going to take to get there.
And you are proof of that.
I am proof.
You are proof of that. So tell us about the Alpha Group.
Sure. So we have been around for a very long time, about 52 years. We've been an organization. Yeah, long time. We were one of the first organizations to privatize, to separate from our county boards of developmental disabilities. We did that in 2006.
Okay.
At the time, there was a very forward-thinking superintendent.
Okay.
So got that ball rolling for us. So that's been wonderful. Had the opportunity to operate separately from them for a long time.
Okay.
I know some of their peer organizations have just gone through that or gone through that recently, and some have not at all yet.
Right.
So, so that's been great. We have grown a lot over the last couple of years that I've been there. When I first started, we did the traditional vocational training with the workshop type of model with the facility-based adult day programs.
Okay.
Since that time, we have really scaled back our facility-based VOC program.
Okay.
Got the individuals going more out into the community at host sites, doing VOC community with them, learning skills while we're on site. And then adult day programs, we have also expanded them to open satellite sites in both Dublin and Westerville.
Okay.
So we do 100% community integrated there with the individuals. They're out about 90% of the day, every day. They don't spend a lot of time by design in the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a pretty robust community employment program, which we call workforce development.
Okay.
We are actually in 13 counties across the state of Ohio doing that service.
Amazing.
Yeah. We have a group that works out of our Westerville office down here in the Columbus area. And then we have a virtual group that goes from about Mansfield all the way up to Akron, placing people.
How many counties?
13 total.
13. That's a lot of counties.
It is. We should have about 120 staff. We're currently at about 100. So we're obviously, like everybody else, understaffed at this point in time. So it's created waiting lists for us for all the services that we do.
Sure.
In 2015, we started transportation.
Okay.
Started that with just getting the individuals to and from the programs that we have. And then we have expanded that to include commercial transportation as well. We do about 2,000 trips of transportation every single month, getting the individuals to and from their jobs in the community. And we have some other contracts that we have out there available as well with some different agencies. And then, of course, I have to mention that we are open to the general public. We can take rides from the general public as well. To make sure we're following all the rules and regulations from DODD.
So just to that, if people are interested and they're in one of the counties that you serve, how would they get a hold of you?
Sure. Primarily, for the majority of our services, they would go through their County Board of Developmental Disabilities and get a referral to us as an agency, or they could go through OOD to get for the employment services, opportunities for Ohioans with disabilities.
Great.
Yeah.
OOD.org or gov. It's actually gov, isn't it?
I believe it's .gov. I don't get on there all the time, so I'm not really sure.
So listeners, ignore, because we may not have it right.
Exactly. And finally, we have two other services that we provide as well. We do homemaker personal care services as well. We have about, we've really scaled back. You guys, you know how the economy is right now. We haven't had the opportunity to provide services to a lot of people. Don't even really get a chance to look at a lot of RFPs anymore that are coming out from the county boards. But we have 4 24/7 homes that we provide services in, and then we do some drop in for about 20 others.
Okay.
And then we have a nice supported employment program. We have some federal, state, and local contracts that we provide that service, mostly through custodial type of services.
Right.
So yeah, again, if we have the clients that are interested in doing that, primarily is through the county board or OOD.
Wonderful.
So we offer a wide array of services.
You do.
I think I like it. It's been very helpful for us through the pandemic. We were able to just pivot and turn whenever we needed to. We didn't have to lay anybody off. We were able to put people right over in our residential programs and kind of keep running from there.
You are a busy organization. That is for sure.
Very busy.
Now, when I talk about your organization, your partners list is pretty extensive. How did you get there?
Well, thanks for asking that. We worked really hard on that. A lot of our partnerships have come around because of our employment programs. Our job developers are out there in the field making those connections for us. So that's a nice list of those. But we also have a development coordinator and a marketing and communication specialist. Okay. So they're constantly working on making connections to get sponsors for our different events that we hold each year. We have a couple fundraisers a year. One's called Laugh and Luck, reverse raffle. We just had that in February. Great opportunity to raise some money. And then we have our Zoom Duck Derby.
Zoom Duck Derby. Tell us about that. That sounds fun.
Derby, yeah. So we hold that July 9th this year at Zumbizi Bay. We release 5,000 rubber duckies that go down the lazy river. And it's a game of chance. So the first one that crosses the finish line, the first 3 are cash prizes, $1,500, $1,000, and $500. Wow. Okay. Nice prizes. So, getting those sponsorships is kind of how that happens. But, other ways that we create partnerships in the communities, I'm very involved in our community. I don't just run an organization. I'm the face of the organization as well. Right. It's my job to get out there and let everybody know what we are doing and how they can help us out. I served as the Rotary president for a year. Okay. I sat on our Chamber of Commerce board of directors. I go to all the Chamber of Commerce events that I can possibly go to. I attend little networking breakfasts with peers in the community. There are other leaders of like nonprofits or even county-run agencies. Mm-hmm. I just have to say, to the CEOs that may be listening, it's a great opportunity to get out there and to learn what's going on. When I'm asked to serve on a committee, I usually say yes. I have a hard time saying no. I just served on the finance task force for our Delaware City. And that was a long process, but it gave me an eye-opening to city government finance, which is different than ours, right?
Absolutely.
Our field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to stay busy, David.
It sounds like that. Yeah, it sounds like to me.
Keeps me out of trouble.
No, it really doesn't. So talk to us about the your customers and how they interact, how you interact with them or your organization does.
Yeah, sure. So, the individuals that we have the opportunity to provide services to are very special to me. Like I said earlier, I've really kind of grown up in this field over the last 27 years. So it's important for me to be able to have interactions with the individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to do it every day or nearly as often as I possibly want to do that.
Right.
But when I get a chance, I make sure I try to at least walk through the areas on a daily basis just to say hi to them, the ones that are in the facility. We try to put all the good things out there on Facebook that we're doing with the individuals. I have some great DSPs working for me. Definitely, wouldn't be able to provide nearly the services that we do if we didn't have the people working for us. It's not about the money, right, David?
There is no money. There's not enough money.
Yeah, not enough money. So
and we're going to talk about that here in a minute.
It has to be about the feel-good factor, the opportunities to be able to help people. And honestly, that's what it's about for me too.
Sure.
I love leading an organization that I can provide wonderful quality services to the individuals that we get to serve.
So you mentioned your DSPs. Talk to us about one that has done something spectacular or really just kind of a story that stands out that you can share.
Gosh, there's probably a lot of those. But, I can't think of just one. So, every week they have to sit down and make a calendar with the individuals. And I know that sometimes it's not easy to give up their family life to provide the services that we provide, but they tend to try to do at least one or two events during the evening. That way that the individuals get to participate in something different.
All kinds of things.
Yeah, they've taken them to the Cleveland Browns game.
Okay.
Cedar Point. They go to the Dayton Air Force Museum. Hockey games, Blue Jacket games. Movies, that kind of stuff. I think they did like monster trucks too.
Okay.
It's just crazy, But they give up their time their family time to go and be with the individuals and they just grow relationships with all of them. Story after story. Some people just need help in their home, a little extra help. So they'll work over to work with them or take them to the store just to be with them, get them out in the community, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So you're a pretty big organization. What are the challenges you're facing today?
Some of the challenges that we're facing today is just the desire for staff to want to be working from home. That's a big challenge for us right now. Our DSPs can't do that. It's a hands-on service. So equity is big for me across the organization. So I like to be able to try to be equitable to people. If I'm letting one person work from home, I like to try to find a way to let other people do that. It's just not an opportunity for a DSP. The position requires them to be there.
Right.
So the other challenge for us is we're pretty spread out right now. And how can we communicate with everybody on a more often basis? So we've just tried to implement different types of technology to be able to do that.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
And then, pay obviously is a big challenge for us. And so we tried to do different things for them just to make sure that they know that they're
valued.
Yes, that they're valued. Sorry. And that we know how important that they are to our organization.
Sure. Are you willing to talk a little bit about DODD?
Sure.
This wasn't on your list of your question list, but it'd be nice to talk about it because you're engaged. So for folks that are listening today but don't understand DODD, right? Mm-hmm. Can you explain who they are and what they do? Well,
I think the best way I would explain DODD is they're kind of our governing body, right? They are the rules and regulation makers and the payers of services that we do, right? Mm-hmm. So it's their job to make sure that we're providing the services in the way that they need to be provided and then to reimburse us for those services. So there has to be different types of mechanisms in place to make that happen, right? We have to do documentation and come into for certifications and, make sure that we're following all the rules and regulations.
Do you think that they understand what's happening on the front lines?
I think if you probably asked me this question maybe even 3 months ago, I'd probably tell you no, that they have no idea what is going on out there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they know exactly how hard it is for providers. I hear a lot of times that there's not enough providers out there to do the services that we have to do. That's not the case. There are plenty of providers. Right. We don't have enough staff to do the service. We don't have DSP, and just certifying providers does not build capacity. All it does is spread the number of DSPs across the providers, right? And probably many of them listening out there today are working for more than one agency right now.
Correct.
And what we're asking them to work like 80 hours a week or something, it's crazy.
So if you could speak to DODD and they would follow your advice, right? What would you ask of them? How can they support us better?
If I could speak to DOD and ask them to follow my advice, I would say, could you please just trust providers to do the right thing? There are many of us who have been in business for years and years and years, and if we were just given the opportunity to have some trust and flexibility, we will figure it out. None of us are out there to take advantage of anybody. We want to do the right thing. We want to see the individual served in the manner in which they want to be served in. Mm-hmm. So just a little bit of trust and not so much darn paperwork or oversight for us. I do get it. I get that there is a necessity for that. Mm-hmm. But, it's just administratively heavy, and we don't have the funds to pay for that.
Right. So documentation, every few years, it seems, we get a promise that they're going to ask for less, that they are going to trust us. And what do you think happens after they make those promises? Because it doesn't seem to happen.
In Liz Owen's opinion.
Sure. This is all
my opinion. I think that along the way, somewhere, some agency or some organization has messed up.
Sure.
And they no longer can trust the people. So I kind of think that maybe that's what it is. So then they think that to fix it, that they probably have to implement a rule or a regulation around that for all of us to follow. I feel like that's what happens. I don't know if that's 100% what happens, but.
Well, I agree with you that seems to be what happens, but there are a lot of good providers. There are providers that do everything they can to do it right. We all make mistakes. We all fail occasionally. Yep. Good providers are honest about that and let folks know, right? It makes more sense to me that the providers who aren't as honest or aren't following through maybe could have a different designation. And so you want the gold, right? Mm-hmm. But if you don't meet the gold standard, you could end up silver or something. So that's my opinion, since we're talking about opinions.
I would have to kind of agree with you, David. I think that we could do just like they do restaurants. They grade restaurants like A, B, C, or D, right? And the ones that have a lower, or the lower grades
have more oversight.
More oversight, right? So wouldn't that just make sense that they would maybe handle it that way? If you're an A organization, then you maybe only have every 6 years you get something or whatever. Sure. You know what I'm saying? I think there should be an opportunity for some trust.
And we do that in what we call licensed homes, where you can get a license that's many years, or you can get a license that's 1 year, just based on the reviews. But that's limited to the licensed homes. It's not really talking about agency or the agency in general. So you can have a home that gets a wonderful licensure review in the same organization, have one that doesn't. And that could be based on manpower or just even the reviewer.
And on the flip side of that too, I mean, even though we're good agencies, we make mistakes, right?
Absolutely.
We might miss a date for something that isn't before the deadline, right? Or the expiration date. Why penalize us for that? Come on, I get it. I know it's important, but and if you get one, you usually get multiples, right? So it would be wonderful if we had a little bit of latitude and flexibility. I think that would be my number one thing to them is stop being so punitive and be more helpful. You know, there are other governing bodies out there that are not punitive. They
Right.
are helpful. They do give you recommendations, not citations.
Right.
So that would be great. You know, we wouldn't be so fearful all the time.
And the fear gets in the way
It does.
of providing the best services.
Yeah. Guys, just imagine yourself as a DSP and having the fear of maybe doing something just a little bit wrong, and then you get put on a registry for however long that is, you know. They're just trying to do the best they can most of the time. I don't think anybody is out there trying to, well, there probably are people out there trying to hurt people, but, you know, for the majority.
Yeah, most DSPs are wonderful. They do an impossible job, and yet, you know, are put under a lot of pressure to do everything right.
For not a lot of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For McDonald's wages.
Yeah.
In some cases. So I agree. There should be some leniency for being human. And the same thing that agencies face when they admit, hey, we did something wrong, you get a ding and you get more oversight. DSPs get that too, because the agencies have to kind of push, you know, people to the side if there's an investigation going on, even if they weren't the cause.
Right.
Or there's no reason to believe they were the cause. We have this culture of guilty until proven innocent. That just doesn't seem to make sense when we don't have staff. And a lot of times the folks that have to sit out for a week or two are great staff and would never harm.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
Well, we've talked a little bit about workforce. We know there's not enough DSPs. What are some ways that your organization, I know we talked a little bit about it earlier, but what are some ways that you support your DSPs?
So we do things, you know, other than just pay. We have wonderful health benefits for our DSPs.
Okay.
We pay a lot of money towards their policy, towards their health insurance.
Okay.
And then we pay a lot of money towards their HSA to try to support them as well. We do some 401ks.
Okay.
We do employee of the month. We, you know, do some recognition breakfasts and different
nice.
type of items for them throughout the year. We do years of service awards, try to just promote them and give them the thank yous that they deserve whenever we can.
So years of service, how old or how long has your DSP that's been with you the longest been? Do you know?
Well, DSP, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know my most tenured employee has been there 32 years. 32 years,
that's a long time.
32 years, yeah. He's been there a very long time. And the bench, it's pretty deep. You know, we have a lot of people that have been there for more than 15 years at our organization. And then we have a lot of newbies that are coming in,
Sure.
you know, kind of thing. But not a whole lot of in the middle type of people. If they've either been there a long time and they just love what they're doing, or they're just coming into the field and they're really getting their feet wet.
Yeah, the organization that I've worked at for the last 20 years in, if somebody lasted 3 years, they were likely to be with us, you know, many, many more.
Yeah. And the people that are leaving, you know, obviously, I don't think they really want to leave. I think they're leaving because of the circumstance, right? I think they're leaving because they need to support their family.
They need money.
They need money.
And what we can afford to pay will not keep the lights on and the rent paid.
Yes. That's why they're working more than one job a lot of times.
Right.
Or the overtime, all the overtime that they could possibly get. So what happens when people work overtime, right? Mistakes start happening. People are tired.
You're right. You're right.
Know?
So bring up anything else that we haven't talked about that you think Liz can talk to us about. And share.
Well, Liz can talk. I'm pretty passionate about a lot of things, but I don't know. I can't think of anything off my top of my head.
Well, that's okay. So I'll give us a topic that you can share with. What's your favorite dessert?
Oh, my favorite dessert would have to be, I think, cherry cheesecake.
Cherry cheesecake.
Yeah.
That sounds carb-free.
100%.
Who makes the best? A restaurant, mom?
Oh, yeah. I think the Cheesecake Factory does a great job at making their cheesecakes, but I don't know if it's just cherry. They have all the flavors, so I don't always just get cherry.
Well, what other flavors you get?
Oh, God. There's peanut butter. There's German chocolate. Anything with chocolate and nuts is going to be my favorite.
Mine probably too.
Yeah.
So you and I, we talked about this earlier. We've known each other. We've hung out together, been at conferences, and now you've been here with me on this podcast. Is it possible that even after this, we can still be friends?
Absolutely. I'd love to be your friend, David. You're fun to be around and hang out with.
Well, you're about to go on a trip with some other people that are fun to be around, and so I hope you guys do have a great time. And they're also industry leaders, and so I'm excited for you all. A little jealous I wasn't invited, but I totally get it.
Sorry, I didn't do the invite list.
Oh, well,
we know who did, though. Would you like me to hurt them later?
Yeah, I think that they should be told.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Liz, and I appreciate your time and the efforts and what you and your organization are doing to support individuals with developmental differences. It's just pretty amazing, and you do it with very limited resources. So thank you for joining us, and we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for listening, and join us next time on The Direct Line.